Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. My name is Tom, and I'm returned with another Japanese adventure using the Hearts of Iron 3 game with the Black Ice modification version 10.43. Just went ahead and started up my game, saved it a couple hours in, no crashes, so I know I'm pretty good to go at this point here. Where this episode will be pulling the Pearl Harbor attack, which will have us declare war against the United States and start on a Pacific campaign here. We got a couple of phases we'll be running through. First phase will be the attacks on Wake and Guam Islands. We'll be doing a couple of naval, marine landings, I should say, on the Philippines, followed up with some landings from our core units that are pretty much in place right now. Yeah, got a unit there that's going to be handling the southern portion there. This one will be handling the northwestern landing zone, and this guy will be handling the far northern landing zone there. We've also got some units in place uh, down in northeastern Indo or southwestern Indochina, rather. I'll get my directions correct here momentarily. We're just basically getting ready. Once war has been enjoined with the United States, there'll be an option to put pressure on Siam, and then we'll have the option of either just puppeting them, leaving them as is with their army intact, or just fully taking them over. And I'm kind of 50-50 on that type of option myself with Siam, but of late I've been kind of going with the let's just take Siam, period. There's not much in the way of needed resources here per se. Ooh, they do have a radar there, though. Wow, I did not know they must have built that. I don't ever see them have a radar. But yeah, in the way of resources, they're okay. I mean, it's not a lot. Taking them over, there would not be a lot of IC that I would get, nor is there a strategic resource really involved in this country. But it would at least help me to send in supply ships directly to Siam rather than having to count on a puppets supply here in order to get my attacks going into Burma. Um, so that'll be this episode. We're also going to take a quick look and starting in the south here, middle of Africa, we're going to take a look and see how our allies are doing. You can see in Abyssinia, Italy's actually kind of gotten back under control with what they're doing here, where previously they're losing ground all over here in the northern sector. They're holding in the south and the west, so they're doing okay at this point. I still expect them to collapse eventually, and the UK, Belgium, and their allies push in and take them out. Italy's had a very rough time of it here in Libya. The DAK the African Corps has shown up, but in the form of an expeditionary force. Normally, when I play Germany, I say yes, we're going to go ahead and give them the DAK, but I control them. That way I can kind of control the tempo, the back and forth through here. Something happened. I think they lost a division back here. They got trapped. It probably was their armor division too. They got trapped, and I don't see where they're at this point in time. That might be them retreating back there, maybe. I know there's them here. Let's see. Well, yeah, for expeditionary forces, not going to show. I'd have to actually look at the individual units that are involved there, or regiments, I should say, and see if I can see the DAK. Um, so far, that's a none. There's 4 divisions you get, one of which is a headquarters unit. Corps or Army, I forget. I think it's Corps. Um, and then you get for the DAK, the other 3 divisions. 2 are um, infantry mechanized or motorized rather, and then the other one is an armored. I am not seeing. Usually it should be like a regiment that has like a little DAK on it, like this guy. If you see there in the lower right corner, you see a little DAK insignia there. And yeah, he is thrashed. That's why he's retreating up there. All right, don't know where they are, and that might Northern Africa might be a lost cause here for the Axis. We'll see. What is not a lost cause, though, is Russia. They haven't gone as far as they should historically. And honestly, there's still another couple more weeks before the heavier snows come in. But they're still, well, looks like about 5, yeah, about 5 to 6 provinces away from Moscow. They do have Leningrad surrounded. Finland is actually doing very well in its area here. I would expect a little more pushing here in the north. Honestly, well, it looks like now they're beginning to. I was going to say, honestly, it looks like Germany should have taken care of the Norwegian partisans that popped up here out of the middle of nowhere, but it looks like they're starting to. I would have done that a lot sooner. But otherwise, overall the German push, especially considering how the beginning week or two of the war, Eastern Front War went, horribly for Germany initially. It's actually looking pretty good here. They're pushing along everywhere where I would expect them to. We do have some further. Actually, I don't think we have any further moves to make per se. Well, I think we do kind of. We were combining these guys together because there's a couple more units that I need to still bring to the forefront, like this group here. They're just too large. And see the way 867, they're just too large for one of my normal transports. My normal transports can carry 700, or no, not 712. Uh, where do I have a transport that's sitting around here? Um, my normal transports carry 855, so just a little bit too much there. That's okay. We will, as you can see, we can take care of that. And can we carry, is there another? I don't think there's another unit here. I mean, I could take some of these Army and 5 stars with me as well, which I think I kind of want to, but the problem is I don't know exactly. For the initial attack, honestly, it's just the Philippines, and I shouldn't be losing. I shouldn't be having the command and control break. The dotted line that goes from a division to a corps headquarter and then up the chain. I shouldn't have that break at all, but it might behoove me to still move units, move the army units around. But we'll worry about that for a later time. We're just going to transport them out to there, and then they'll come back and reform. I do have some more units here that I wish to kind of move up to get ready. These are all my extra units. Um, yeah, I got a bunch of army units. They're just kind of sitting around doing nothing right now. We'll get these couple other units ready for their and these guys, because these are staying back. Those are staying back. Those are staying back. Mentally, I knew that those would be staying back. Oh, I know I have mechanized, motorized, summers. Oh, you know what? I already moved them, didn't I? Yes, I moved them down there. Because I got one that needs to kind of go there and fill him out. Do I have another? I thought I had another. Yeah, I do. So these guys need to um, come on down here because I need to pick them up and ship them out to here because there's a couple of armored units that could use a little bit of beefing up. But that's all that really needs to be done there. Otherwise, here we're doing okay. We still got a bunch, as you can see, a bunch of veteran units, 6 veteran units. I am building. We'll revisit that as real quick here too with our builds. As you can see, total IC production actually has gone up a little bit more. It was around 350 because we had some unit spawn penalties that were kicking in, and it looks like one of them dropped off. But I still got a bunch still remaining there. Once all those unit penalties drop off, it should be over 400 IC. The excuse me, pardon me. The amount of IC we're pumping into production right now is about 1/2 roughly, because we're needing to put roughly 1/2 into supplies. Our supplies are taking a huge dip because we were just moving units all over the place, and for whatever reason, that just kind of plays havoc with your supply network. I mean, I can understand it. I can role play it as such that the quartermasters, maybe we're not informed of all the movements of ships and material and men because top secret, can't tell them this, and therefore they kind of had to hurry up and play catch up with supply requisition requests. But we are building. Building 3 transports, so that way I have a paratroop unit. These should be ready by, well, fully ready by April or so. Once they're built, I'll have them kind of stage out to where they need to be, and I'm going to use them for a paradrop attack um, down in the southwestern Pacific Islands. Well, closer to India than Pacific, but nonetheless, we got some tropical garrisons that these will be used to reinforce our conquests. That first immediate conquest we'll have Wake Guam and Midway. The We're still cranking out these industries. Seoul and Shanghai many episodes ago got a surprise gift, totally unanticipated. It's not sarcasm. Wherein heavy industry got placed in those 2 provinces. I was hoping for like Tokyo and Nagoya for example, but it is what it is. So I'm maxing these 2 provinces out to 10 industry because with heavy industry, each point of heavy industry gives you like a plus 50% bonus to your IC in that province. So with one heavy industry, if I can get Seoul and Shanghai up to 10 IC, they'll actually be producing 15 IC total. So pretty handy to have. We've got these two about ready to come. So actually, the Zukaku and Shikaku should be ready for war with America. I may not press them out to Wake Island. I may just let these guys, once they get upgraded here on November 30th in a couple days, I will just probably let them sit, make sure that they get their org fully up. That'll take about a week probably, and then I'll send them out to the southeastern Pacific Islands just to kind of help patrol there and fend off any American carriers that might make their way that way. Bunch of destroyers coming in, as you can see. Battleships be ready next year. They'll all be tagged on with current destroyer fleets that I'll kind of wrap up and utilize them. So this will be 2 fleets here because I'll just throw 2 battleships and 5 destroyers in each fleet. So I'm building 2 heavier fleets there. I got some naval bombers coming out. Junio and Hayu will be ready spring of next year, 1942, which will be just in time really for the UK attacks. UK probably declare on me about March or so, so they'll be ready for that conflict coming up. We got some light carriers that'll be ready once some of the stuff gets built up top. The IC will get pushed down. They'll be ready also for the British incursions. But what I was getting to is I'm building 3 Marines for those veteran HQ regiments that I've got going there. I got to figure out what I want the others for. I mean, I'm building Mountaineers as well, but I put on a HQ regiment. Honestly, I could just keep doing what they're doing there. Maybe just remove the HQ regiment. I don't know. I'll see what I need to build afterwards there. But you see, there's got a bunch of radar stations. They'll be coming online probably 1943. In all honesty, with the way I've got my builds going, but I've got a bunch of stuff that's being built or in the queue. Planes, they should be ready in summer of 1942. We'll see on that though. Anyway, that's how our production is going. And to further refresh myself, because I'm just starting play today, this morning here, but everybody else that may have, taken some time off from my videos, our research is going along pretty well. Leadership, I was expecting this to take a bit of a drop because of the officer recruitment that I did. I did officer recruitment level 2, which it's not, well, actually, we'll show here. Unless I'm looking at, I thought LS was leadership. That's what I thought that minus 10% was for leadership, but that may be for something else. I'm not certain what that is then, because the only thing is though, this does say leadership minus 15% for level 3, and this, of course, the tooltip does say minus 15% for leadership. I don't see where it says it in here though that I'm taking a hit to leadership in such a manner. Officers, you can see where the officer recruitment program level 2 is at 35%. Technically, it should be at 60%, so I'm not sure why it's only showing that. I don't know if that's a tooltip error or a bug or what, but if that means I don't have to take the 10% leadership hit in exchange for not getting the extra 25% bonus gain for that total 60% bonus, I'll call that a wash, and I'll say that's good because that 10% leadership hit that would knock me down to 70, and that I would lose about well, I'd be losing some more research projects that I could do because I'm not gonna dip that much into my officers here at this point. But overall, we're looking pretty good in regards to our research. We got a bunch coming out over the next couple of months here. Obviously, we got some stuff that'll be in spring, so we're looking really good. Our just taking a quick spin around. Our air does need a bunch of upgrades. We got a bunch of research we need to do. Period. But our CAGs are doing great, and that's where I really want to be because if there's any plane that's going to be used mostly in this campaign coming up, it's going to be CAG. The others will be used too, but not as much as my carrier groups. Um, just taking a quick spin through all of our naval, we are fully current with all of our tech that we can and I want to research right now. So yeah, I'm also pretty much fully upgraded. I think there's a few outliers. There's a couple of like cruisers, for example, that are rank 4 instead of 5, and there's some trying to think, maybe some destroyers. Doubtful though. There was just a couple of ships, realistically, that aren't fully upgraded at this point. But overall, my navy and CAGs should be the envy of the world. They should be better than anything we're going to be encountering. We'll find out this episode. So, speaking of, let's go ahead and move on. I don't think there's anything further I am needing to do here. My Marines will stage out of their base here in well, heck, what is this? Osumi Shoto? I don't know why I use this per se, other than you can walk down to here. I don't think you can walk. Yeah, you can't walk to any of the islands there. Yeah, it's not letting me. But if you can walk through the mainland down to this set of islands here, that might be why I'm using it, because it's considered a contingent part of the mainland, and thus upgrades and stuff like that can happen easier. You can manually do that, and it's within. If we select here, it's within striking distance of. You can see of Wake Island there, 2267. We got 2,500 kilometer range there. We got Guam, southern Philippines. We'll be able to attack there. Of course, North Philippines as well. The only time we'll need to start moving the we'll move the Marines around once we get, these taken care of. Obviously, I can't reach out to Midway. That's just too far for our. We could do with transports, but I don't like using transports at all for invasions. And any naval invasions, I could do naval invasions along here from there. That might be something to consider. Same here. These islands, I could. Well, yeah. So it looks like this radius here is where I can do naval invasions from still, but once I start diving deeper, I'll need to move my base. Speaking of bases, let's get ours going. We've got a few days till war will be starting with America. In the meantime, let's just kind of watch Germany push its way into Russia here. Need to kind of keep a weather eye. Looks like Russia is kind of pushing back there. I had said, if I were Germany, I'd be pushing to this river line all throughout here, just so that way you can use it as a defensive barrier for wintertime. Even just try to push up here best you can. I don't know if that would be a possibility. But just that way you can at least use the river as a defensive measure for the upcoming winter here. Medium navigational radar, it's 41, 43 tech we can cancel out. Just to repeat, thanks to searchers who pointed out it's best to research things that are current year or older in the past. If you research anything in the future, you take a penalty. 1 year ahead, it's not as much a penalty as 2+ years ahead, but it's still enough of a penalty that if I were to choose, well, not right now per se, but if you were to choose a tech that is 1 year ahead, you can actually research 3 techs, roughly, depending upon their difficulty and stuff. Let's say even difficulty, you can research 3 techs in that place of that one. The only time it really makes sense is if, for example, you were to research everything you possibly can research. I encounter that with Germany all the time at the very start of the game. Usually they run out of same year or older research targets midway through 36 or 3/4 of the way through 36, and at 37 I'll start researching older or tech in the future from there. And perhaps this time of year, the penalty is only going to last until the year switches over. So on January 1st, a month from now, 29 days, 30 days from now, whatever, it'll the penalty will go away, but you'll still have gained whatever research points you put into it. Um, eh, so, for example, for the next 30 days, I could, if I'm putting one research point into artillery flexibility, for the next 30 days, I'll have 15 points of research into it. Rough. It's not really entirely the way it works, but just kind of a way uh, to say this is this is the methodology. So you'll still have had some research put into it at the very least. So it could be worth to research something that's in the future, 1 year in the future now, since you'll lose that penalty the next year. But for the most part right now, I'm just going to be sticking with the same year or older. Okay, Navy wants their money because they know they're going to war. We got a couple of destroyers are coming online here. I totally forget if I have there we go. I totally forget if I have any. Oh, you know what? I don't have anything in import here except for these two destroyers. Alrighty. Yeah, he's fine. How about here? So there we go. Shikaku and Zukaku are ready. I don't know how quickly they're going to go, but then again, they were ready just 5 days ago on the 28th, roughly five, maybe four. They've gone up. It's almost 77% organization. So I mean, you can kind of do the math on that. That's about 14 points of organization a day, maybe 15 points of organization a day, depending upon when exactly they came in. Organization started ticking up. That's still almost 300 organization that got to go there. So that's say roughly 20 days before they get to full organization. So yeah, they're not going to be fully ready in time for war with America to start, but they'll be ready say mid to late December there, and that's fine. We're okay with that. Um, yeah, I don't have any air there they need to worry about. Just need to make sure that everything is out that should be out. My medium bombers I'm leaving. That's a flying boat waiting for something. Yeah, they're all. Oh, got a couple things here. A couple raiders that need leaders. For the raiders, I like to use what's it called? Blockade runner. As you see here, the tooltip has an increase, a bonus to the disengage timer, and a speed bonus in ocean. Basically, just to help them get away if they get stuck in combat. You don't want your raiders or subs, for that matter, really to get stuck in combat. You just want them doing what they're doing, which is raiding convoys. We can assign them to that and ditto as well. Okay. So that's all passenger ships. You see, I got 9 transport fleets, of which 3 of them are long range. The first, 22nd, and 26th are longer range. They can go 2,700 kilometers. The next longest range, I think, is this one here. Yeah, because of the assault ship. This fleet's been hobbled by them, 2050. But even that is better than where's my long range? Yeah, 1,200 for long range auxiliary vessels, and I think it's half that for auxiliary, 600. So the auxiliary vessels are just for close range, and I have to watch. In fact, here's what we're gonna do. I don't need the auxiliary vessels here. I can just send them. We'll send them out there for right now. When I board my Marines, I don't know what the AI uses to figure out. I don't know if it's top to bottom in the fleet list that's here, or if it's like, what ship can hold more than the other. I don't know what it uses, but I try to move out those fleets that I don't want to use immediately, so that way I will use the ones that can be used. We have. That's right. So we're on the 3rd. We're going to start doing our patrol there. Okay, I need to set up. There we go. So how far can you guys go? Oh, pretty far. We can go out to here actually, so let's do that. We got some subs I had deployed that need to go convoy rating. And how far down here? Well, not that far, nor that far. So that far. And that means then the last one, as anticipated, we'll just run the northern cap. Basically, this is just I'm gonna set up a cone shield around the Philippines to prevent the U.S. from being able to run supplies to their, um, well, I guess is their puppet. Philippines are their puppet, aren't they? Yeah, we can do here because this will cut off any kind of Western movement there. I think I only have, yeah, those aren't even that's not even my fleet that's there. Okay. And did I have anybody? I did here. So we got some midget submarines that are going to do the same thing. They're going to raid around Guam. They have a very wide radius for midget submarines. That just seems unrealistic. I mean, it is what it is, but it just seems unrealistic. That's too far, so they're going. Oh wait, can we go? So we could go here, and that would get. Let's see. That would get that, or I do here. I kind of like that one better because it'll. I mean, I've got anything that's coming here onto Wake is going to be, as long as the coastal sub is there, is going to be interfered with. But at least I'll have the northern sector. I don't need this. And we have the Yamato ready. They're just going to kind of hover off the coast of Wake Island and just dare the U.S. to come. Alrighty, we got a bunch of stuff we need to set up here. So we got torpedo boats that are going to be patrolling as well. Tripwires, again, just tripwires. Long range subs, how far can we go? Um, so we can't make the west coast of America just yet. I can kind of interfere and go in between. But here's what we'll do. We'll just put one to kind of get ready for the next phase. We'll start going around Midway. And then the rest of these, we're going to have them take on the Hawaiian Islands. It's actually close. Well, do I have, before I start? Yeah, I've got some subs here. They're within range there. That's what I was going to use them for, is down that way. I have a convoy raider that's going all the way out to here. See the range on those suckers, 13,500. They can go worldwide. Basically, I mean, because it's just basically a cargo ship with a bunch of guns on it. But we're gonna be cutting off any and all movement coming out of the the Panama Canal into the Pacific. Okay, so we need to go back to here. Still got a couple more long range subs. I'll just use the remainder to take care of Hawaii. And I got one more here. Let me take a quick look. I know well, not that it's a big deal now. There's an American Samoa. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Samoa's down over here. Don't really need to worry about that right now, though. We do have these. I don't know what these islands are called. Johnston Islands in here. Thought Phoenix Island was around here too. You'd think after playing so many times, there's Jarvis Island. You would think after playing so many times, I would remember where some of the island ranges or some of the islands are. I thought there was Phoenix Island around here somewhere. That's Midway. Yeah, duh. Oh well. We're gonna send the long range sub down here and start marauding. All right, we got regular subs here. This one will take care of there. Not that much. I mean, there'll be some supplies being sent here. Obviously, the AI sends supplies and fuel to to every place it can, every base it can that you control. But I'm hoping that any subs here will kind of also, if I see the naval battle pop up here, and my subs are in combat with a American fleet, they'll act as a long range tripwire and let me know if the Americans are, coming in down this way, for example, or coming up like so. And we got one more subfleet here. Oops, not there. Where do we want them going? I like the idea of just putting them here, actually, yeah. That way, kind of like a line for the islands there. So what do we have? I have a torpedo boats there. So they're going to just simply patrol outside there. I should have some air. There we go. Let's do that. There we go. Thought I had some air. So it's just those flying boats. So you can see the range of the naval bombers. Well, it's below right corner, 1060. Quite a bit of a ways. Not far enough for me to be able to, start scouting around over Hawaii or whatever. But once we get midway, then we'll be able to have naval bombers kind of act as a shield in front here to figure out what's going on. Same with these islands once we capture them too. These islands are in phase 3 of our phase 2 of our movement. We got Midway is phase 2 and beginning of these islands, and then phase 3 Hawaii, finishing up the island chain that we need. But anyway, so we need to put this to a radius for area selection so we can kind of cover a wide area here, and we're going to do just that. Now, because this is the international date line here, AI just doesn't like to paint in the area on one side or the other, depending upon where you are. So you have to manually do it. This looks to be good enough, I feel. We don't really need to worry. I got another flying boat up there. We don't need to worry so much about the northern. But if we have a little bit of overlap, that's not a big deal. And they're just going to go in continuous, just be doing this forever and ever and ever. I'll have to check them every now and then because sometimes the bombers will just, they'll stop what they're doing. So I have an interceptor as well. They're going to air intercept anything coming in all over the place here. So if my naval bombers are flying in fairly close to the islands here and they're going to get jumped by CAG, my interceptors can come in and save the day. They do need a bit of a longer range though, but yeah, it is what it is. What do we have up here? The other flying boat, because I got the other one up there, right? Yes, flying boat and air interceptor there. So this one will be tasked with primarily worrying about the mid. The other one that's up here is going to worry about the northern section. And we'll deal with our island chain as well, below just a lot of overlap. Okay. And lastly, so this interceptor group, they're not fully ready, but that's okay. I'll plug those last two in. I thought I moved them out here soon enough, but I might not have. That might be part of the issue, is that they should have put them out like a week or two sooner. But that's okay. They'll regain their org over time anyway, because they have to land on the on the base every now and then to refuel. And once they do, their org will go up. And I think even while they're flying, their org kind of goes up too, as long as you're not engaged in combat. Could be wrong on that. I mean, your org for a land unit goes up while you're moving, not necessarily while you're standing still. Okay, so we've got a good area of coverage for our naval bombers. And I think there's still one more naval bomber. We got to get our torpedo boats. Actually, they go south of Truk. That's right. Got to make sure that I've got all of my fleets and air going out. Yep. Torpedo boat. They're patrolling. Good. I think I had already done those. Yes. There. I know. I just said them both already. Nothing there I need to worry about. I did truck. There's just the torpedo boat that's there, and here, and there. So here, torpedo boat. You can see the coverage is vast. All right, let's get him over there and patrol. This is my coastal battleship patrolling off the south coast to help shore bombardment, provide shore bombardment for this area here. I have the same thing happening with my coastal battleships up north, providing shore bombardment up north there. And we've got some coastal subs. Can we, well, real quick, can we go here? Nope. 750 right on the nose. So there's an area where the AI can slip in right there. The AI is not that smart. A human player, however, would see my weakness and immediately jump on it. And we're just going to convoy right there. I think that's everything that's there. Oh, we got some air. Bombers and naval bombers. Not too much that these naval bombers are going to be encountering around here. Their patrols will be rather quiet and boring until war with the UK. I can't send them out just yet. Yeah, these guys, I got to wait till I'm actually at war before I can say attack. Well, no, I can't do a port strike because it's grayed out. I'll say, yeah, I can do a port strike. No, I can't do a port strike. It's grayed out. So I can't do any attack anyway. I can't set them up for any sort of missions. Same with my light bombers. But that's good. That means there'll be extra time for them to get ready there. Okay. So I'd like to take a quick overview just to make sure that I've got my my iron curtain up. You can see we've got where the red is, we've got our coastal submarines surrounded the Philippines here. They're going to be sinking any and all convoys entering or exiting, encountering very little other shipping otherwise, I would say. Any that they do, I mean, I've got destroyers. That's what the green is for, is destroyers. I've got well, the coastal battleships. I think I have one or two ships of the line fleets, heavy cruiser fleets north and south of here. My other one, I have light carrier fleet for supporting Guam, along with another ship of the line as well. But you can see the Iron Curtain, as it were, just how it kind of goes up north here and touches up to the Aleutians there. This is probably just a waste of fuel, but I put them up there just because. Once I actually encountered an American fleet coming from, I'm presuming, one of the ports up here, probably up in Anchorage, and coming down. I don't know if they were coming to Japan or the way they were coming was just to come down, then go to Wake Island or something like that. But this line is just to kind of alert me, give me a warning if anything's heading to me, because as you saw, I really don't have anything other than two light cruiser fleets and two destroyers guarding guarding Japan. So we got to kind of watch what we're doing. And the red, these are all where my subs are and are engaging raiders out here. Once the rest of my raiders get strength and orged up, will be a bunch of red here off the coast of the United States and Canada both. All right, so I think we're ready in that regards. I believe everything that's fleet and air related are all moved where they need to be. They're just kind of chilling, waiting. Do we have? I got some fleets back. Do I have? Where are we at? These guys. Can I get them on board? Yes, I can. And oh, this is the Tokyo one that should be. I don't know why it's already saying transport to Kampot when I didn't even click it. Doesn't go there. It's like it just knew that I was going to take like those guys there. All right. You're good to go at this point here. Army needs money because, of course, they have to, like, rearm, get ready. Oh, wow. Well, it looks like Italy might be pushing back a little bit. I thought Britain had moved further, but I could be wrong. That might be its furthest point there, and they just happen to come here in the south. Abyssinia, yeah, nothing really changed there much. Looks like that's the way it should be. I thought maybe they had. Anyway, we'll watch the northern front here, so I have a better idea what's happening there. Getting close. Submarine damage control. That just simply dropped off, so we're at 70. So next one that drops off. Oh, we had something get built here. Another destroyer. Just add them to the other 2 destroyers there. How are we doing here in the northern front? Russia's still pushing back. They are. So we have another raider. Let's see where they're at. Not there, but they're there. Rebase. I just rebase here just for the sake of ease, so I know that's where all my raiders are. There's no other reason for that. And he also needs an appropriate leader. There we go. Have anybody else? No. Anybody else pop up there? No. So that's going to be 11 raiders we'll have. I'm pretty sure. I seem to remember I had like about a dozen or so. But yeah, that's a good number. Well, okay. So technically, I do have carriers in reserve here. So if the United, by the time the United States decides to do something, and if they decide to go, let's go attack Tokyo and capture it, I have carriers here that will disabuse them of that notion. Okay, so we're on December 6th here. I'm going to slow it down to speed 3. I do notice our spies are ticking up a little bit here, so I want to drop this down to 5. Yeah, that's good, 4.85. I don't need to be going up in double digits without me noticing it. And we still need more officers, but I'm okay with where I'm at all total there. So everything is good there. Supplies, we really need to get our supplies up there, but that's where I'm at here is where it's going to be for a bit. Yeah, still has that ball bearing plan. I don't know what it's going to do, and I'm really loath to put the resources into it. But resources, I mean supplies as well. Alrighty, December 7th. We'll let it tick to 1 o'clock in the morning, and we will save the game because we're moving into war with America at this point in time. Looking at our decisions right now, we've got several. First off, we're just going to go ahead and tick off the airport and road network. We're going to get those going. Do that, and then we got one more airport, it looks like. Another airport. So now we have Tora. This has to be December 7th, as you can see. This will give us quite a bit of cool stuff. This is what kicks off war. Operation Z is what's going to give us the change some of the effects and stuff like that, the neutrality. I'm trying to think of the word to use, but how other countries view me and vice versa. But you can see for the next month here, next 30 days, we're going to get some pretty primo benefits. Comet movement speed, which that's not a big deal for the next month. I could use that combat movement speed fighting the UK, going into Burma and down to Singapore. But whatever, just means we'll move fast to the Philippines. Organization regain rate, land organization will tick up a little bit. Soft attack port strike efficiency. I don't really do port strikes, but nonetheless, that's cool. If I am able to spot fleet in port, then you betcha I'm sending a CAG. Not to mention we also gain 400 manpower, which that'll get us over 2,000. The United States gets really fast transport ships. So instead of say, I don't know if that's kilometers per hour. In other words, they're going 3,000 kilometers per hour, or gaining that, or if there's some sort of research tech that will give them 3,000 points towards it, and then whatever that does is I don't know. But in any event, Yes, we're going toward Tor, and you can see we're now at war with the United States and the Philippines. We got to finish up Xinjiang. Forgot about knocking them out here. That's okay. That unit's not really going to be used for much immediately. Then Operation Z, we'll see what the that says. You can see it changes the way other countries view us, stuff like that. Um, that 100 threat on the United States, that should mean that Germany eventually declares on the United States. I think there's an event that the German AI will do that, will declare on the United States, and then that's what, of course, prompts the UK to declare war on Japan. I'll go ahead and select that as well. So you can pause and read that, and pause and read this as well. I really wish there was some way that you could actively create this in the game, because the actual it's nice that there's some effects regarding this, and that you got soft attack, combat speed, and all those bonuses going on for the next months. I mean that's cool, but I wish there's some way that that you could do some actual damage to the the area. For example, with Honolulu, let me click on it here. Honolulu, which actually has a much better naval and air base than is shown there, had some damage done to its naval base and some damage done to its air base. I just really wish that there was a way to kind of um, maybe chain a series of events so you could do like a first wave. Here's the chance of what damage you'll do to Honolulu, and here's what the chances of damage to you. And wave two, increased damage to America, but also increased damage to you as Japan. And then even a wave three, where it's a slight increase of damage to America, to this province, but even a greater chance of heavier damage to you, to your Kagu and stuff like that. But I guess there's really no way to really portray that in the game effectively. I mean, you couldn't even say an event sinks whatever ships are in port there, because a crafty player would just pull all their fleets out of that port and not be there waiting for you. So we're at war at this point in time now with the United States. So we got to do a couple things. First off, we are going to be doing this here. Well, these guys can attack there, and once they're done, then let's move on over. These guys are just going to simply support the attack, and once they're done, then they'll go ahead and move down once that's taken care of. There's nothing else further we need to do all around here, though. I do take a step here, and I make sure that my army units here are ready for the war against Hong Kong, because I don't want to be surprised. So we'll start moving those guys there, and these guys will all move there. I mean, heck, it's going to take this guy 2 weeks because he's my railway artillery. I need him to attack Hong Kong, because Hong Kong, it's not really fully demonstrated, but they got the coastal fort, but they got the pillbox and fortress. I don't know what level those truly are. I think they're much higher than what's represented. So I use the railway artillery against Hong Kong, and then once that's done, then I transport the division out separately, and send them on down. Once I have one of these two ports, send them on down here, strategically redeploy down to Singapore, so that way I can go ahead and begin the attack on Singapore. Not that I thought there was a pillbox or coastal fort here. It's just or not a fortress. There's just a coastal fort that's there, so I might not even have to do that. I still may anyway, because they have a pillbox here. Maybe that's why I move it down, because they got a pillbox and helps to break that and get us to Singapore quicker. Oh well. So that's that. Start things off to move there. Next thing I need to do here, I've got all my ships in air are pretty much in motion at this point in time, but there are some areas that need to start doing what they need to do. This light bomber, for example. I'm going to be doing a ground attack all around here. We don't need it on the sea zones. There we go. That's sufficient. So we shall accept. Real quick, yeah, I need to. Who would not come over here? Slovakia. There we go. I like to tag the provinces that have victory points on them, so that way when I'm not in this view, in other words, when I'm in this view, it'll sit there and let me know, hey, this is a victory point province. I need to capture that. In this case, where previously I was telling my actual puppets that, hey, you need to come out here, and those are both victory point locations, huh? Interesting. I did not know that. Attacking in China, I would tell my puppets, hey, attack here. So I know that that's a victory point location, and of course they ended up doing such. This time now, I can select like Slovakia. There's no way Slovakia is getting out here. If they do, more power to them. I really wish they wouldn't, because that'd be just expending expenditure of force that is not needed. And then as I roll over these victory point locations, I just go and remove the objective. It's just more of a visual reminder to myself that I need to go there. So that's that air unit there, and then I have an air unit up here that needs to start on Guam. Thank you. Ground attack on Guam. Let's do continuous right now. It's gonna be over in a matter of a week. Did I have? I didn't have anything here. Yeah, those guys are doing what they're doing, and you can see all my naval forces arrayed out here in Wake. We just went to war, so it's not going to populate known enemy American forces yet. They will do that very soon, though. Okay, now the naval invasions at this point here. We have, yep. Let's see if it goes top to bottom. So it'll be 2 landing craft. 237, 225. So if the guys that load up go into the assault ship and landing craft, I know the AI probably looks at which fleet can carry the most. But no, it looks like it might go from top to bottom. So with those guys, they're going to travel all the way out here and do an invasion. That's a long way to go. And they won't get there till tomorrow, probably the 9th. But that's okay. We have a lot of time to accomplish what we need to. Well, I say a lot of time. We only have 30 days to really accomplish what we need to accomplish at this point here. Assault ship and landing. Okay. So we'll send them to Guam. So that's those 4. Wait, what was that read? Oh, Slovakia attack. Okay. I got to watch these invasions because the AI likes to kind of, as I said before, it's kind of like that drift factor. They're drifting. No leader, really. I should have paid attention to that earlier. That is my bad. I'm not going to use that unit because their org is going to go way down. Let's do this. Remove. Get to Marines. There we are. And we can use that guy. But we'll use this guy here. We'll attack on the north. And then the last guy that's here remaining, excuse me, he's going to go with a couple headquarter units. Can't take them all. That's sufficient. And attack here. In all honesty, I don't care where they land here, so long as they're nearby and they can attack the port. Okay, so my marine invasion is going on. The marine invasions have to succeed and finish and take their port that they're assigned to. Same for Philippines. Before I move my army corps to where I need them to go. So we got 6. Got my passenger liner set there. They've got their passenger liner set there. They've got their passenger liner set there. All right. We're looking good. So real quick here, we're gonna spin off a couple hours. Yeah, more than a couple hours. Let me speed this up to 3 because we're not really doing much. I can take that off. Uh, we're doing our bombings. Yeah, our light bombers should have moved them sooner. All my air should have moved probably at the end of October. I try to move it as closely as possible to the attack, December 7th attack, because that's extra supplies that they're going to be sucking up there. And I don't know how the AI figures supply overall. The supply comes into an island and it's based on what's there at the time that the supply ships left port. So I don't know how long it takes the supply ships to get from the port that they're leaving from to the location they're going to, if that's like hours or days or weeks. I have noticed that when the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is I used to put a bunch of forward facing, I used to put my Marines here on the island with their landing craft they were going to use, or assault ships or whatever. And I also put all of the naval fleets right here on this little lone island, Marcus Island, which only has a one port. So looking at supplies, for example, you can see in the lower right corner, it'll tell you um, its required supply is 15, received is 18.79. They can transport per 278 per day. I don't know if that necessarily means that they can bring in that much or not. But anyway, I used to like load this place up with tons of fleets, planes, Marines, um, Tropical Island Garrison waiting to take over and all that kind of stuff, and they'd all run out of supply within a matter of days. So I've modified my technique now where I only use that as a staging base for those units, like I saw with the Yamato, that can't make it from their port of call to where they're going. Just use them to use that as a rebase point. Everybody else, like the carriers you saw, I sent them out and they can make it from their port out to there. So that's why I do what I do. Um, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully this works like it has in the past. Anyway, real quick, let's see what's kind of going on here. We have one Marine unit there that should be half strength. In all honesty, I think there's like a hidden event or hidden something that happens wherein um, when I attack, it's kind of like a Barbarossa event for Germany, where Russia is adversely affected. Of course, too, they also have strength because they've been demobilized. America hasn't mobilized, so that's one reason why their organization is going to be so low. Excuse me. In fact, you can see there. Well, that's why I'm doing a bombing on Guam. I haven't actually looked at it yet. But yeah, garrison, anti-air, and headquarter regiment. My fighter bombers are helping, giving them hell. The looking to see kind of where the disposition of the Philippine army is, and so far I can't see too much. Yeah, I can't see anything at all there. All right, so be it. And is there any hint? I don't think the naval map mode shows me now, but there's the American fleet. Yeah, if you zoom in too close, it just goes away. Can't really tell what's here, but you can see there's a lot of shipping activity out and about. I don't have my subs aren't here yet. Should have sent them my subs out sooner as well. They're making their way. Yeah, based on this, my subs need to be sent out 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks prior to the 7th. And obviously the convoy raider needs to be sent out like a full month in advance. It'll take them a while to get out there. Okay. See, every game I learn something new. I know I try to be with my timing. I try to utilize as best as possible so I can have ultimate surprise and everything like that. It's been great for my subs to already been here, and now to be starting, knocking down the convoys that are racing out at speed 3,000 or whatever it is, knocking them down. But yeah, we can see the American fleet is all there. Um, my destroyers have got their line up. They don't see anything, and I don't see anything around in my island. So okay, it's gonna be quiet. we'll go at least a day, maybe two here. Getting close to an hour episode again. I'm just talking, 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 and I do apologize on that. We killed them. These guys can now head down there while they will come in. What did I select here for them? Puppet. That's good. Oh, there's put pressure in Siam. So it's immediate. Put pressure in Siam. Yeah, I just need to be having the Pearl Harbor decision. Okay. So, um, nothing really terribly honest. You can pause and see the specifics on that. So we can say yes, we want to make them a puppet, or we just simply inherit them. In the past, I used to just simply puppet them because I wanted to have the extra. You can see they've got a lot of manpower, a lot of units, and I use those units to well, I mean, they use their units, I should say, to move into Burma and attack there, and even help me out here. I used to like kind of tick and let them know I want to move here, move there, kind of type deal. But their units are just like you can see that insignia. Those are colonial units. The slash, um, and that's a garrison. Um, these are nothing more than partisans, I think. Partisan cav equivalency. Um, but you can see their overall strength just is not all that great. So I've now started to simply inherit Siam for that reason that the extra forces just aren't really helping me. And two, as I touched upon, the supply situation. With Siam as mine, I can actually have my own convoy ships come in with supply and keep my guys supplied. Previously, I had a going through Siam and into Burma. I was using Siamese supply. That just was never any good for me. So let's take an inherit it. Yay. And at this point, we can go ahead and move our forces in. So these guys, they're not going to be any good here. Mountains, jungle, some urban. But yeah, that's all mountains and jungle. I always just move them. They're not good in this area either, but eventually they get to plains. They know it's coming. So we'll just move them up there like so. Um, all of these, no, not all of these guys. You know what? I need to have. I thought I had some convoys heading back. I do. Let's reverse that. Rebase here. Still have time. By the time the convoy gets here, it'll be like December 10th, maybe, or 9th. And then what I'm going to do is I've got three different cores here. One core is going to go here, uh, basically to filter in and push its way down to Singapore. I don't only ever need one core army, 5 divisions to take Singapore. The other two, I'm going to land them here and here. These two ports, or maybe just there. So that way, one core can push its way on up into Burma, and the other can get onto the line. Then the transport comes back and would be picking up a couple more core here. I've got four more core sitting here. Or no, more than that. It's 42 units, which granted, a lot of them are army and whatnot. You know what? We can actually. I meant to do this before to kind of not confuse things further. And this guy as well. For right now, we'll have our armies all move around a little bit later there. um, that should be about 6 cores sitting here, and that's what I'm going to be using for further reinforcing the fight here in Burma. That's going to be about almost 40 divisions I'll be sending into Burma. You may gasp and say, that's too much, Tom. Well, that could be. But I have 3 cores in reserve. Actually, I may not even use all those cores. That's right. I've got a bunch of mountaineers that'll be coming in reinforcements at 2. So you're right, Invisible Voice. That's telling me it's too much. I'm not going to use all the core that's here. In fact, which one are we going to pull off here? Probably this one. Let's pull them out. And I thought I had another. No, yeah, the rest are here. What's going? I got 3 corps in reserve that are going to be used for potential Russian shenanigans, depending upon how the Eastern Front goes for Germany. And we're in early stages. I'm not terribly worried with what's going on here. Plenty of campaigns I've seen where Germany doesn't do that very well in 1941 and all of a sudden kicks in high gear in 42. And by the end of 42 or beginning of 43, Russia surrendered. So it'll be something I'll keep an eye on, and I can use these 3 corps. I would place a couple here and one up here to just kind of what is this called? The Karelian Peninsula or something like that. I might be thinking somewhere else. But anyway, where Vladivostok is that right? Yeah, Vladivostok, which is an important victory point location. And other areas here just to kind of move in there. Manchukuo's got a sufficient enough force to kind of hold where they're at. And of course, ditto with my Menjiang, Zibisan Ma allies. They can hold off Mongolia as needed. You can see the Russians are kind of they're peeling back there, kind of getting ready. They're not liking the fact that I went to war. Wow, they're pulling all their forces back. That's a lot of stuff that's heading east to me. Hey, what's the deal here, Russia? Look, even these guys are like kind of pulling back as well too. Maybe it's my increased threat to everybody now. They're like, oh, we got to put some troops on the border. Anyway, so that's what that is. Holy cow, what is this? I saw that 75, 3 against 75. That is insane. That's about a dozen and a half, at least a dozen fighter bombers, but the rest are all fighters. They must be coming from Johnston. They got to be, but there's no way they have the range to do that. Yeah, that's. Excuse me. Where is this happening again? Here. Oh, I see an American fleet incursion here. Looks like Marines getting transported, perhaps, possibly there as well, maybe, or they could be just naval boats. Interesting. They must have like some drop tanks, for example. That's the only thing I can think of that they would have the range. They have to be coming from Johnston Island. They cannot be coming from Hawaii. There's no way fighters have that range. That kind of scares me a little bit here now. Down on air systems. Yeah, they got to have drop tanks for starters, so that gives you increased range. That they could also have mid-air refueling as well. Um, Mid-air refueling aircraft prototype. Yeah, they could have this, which would give them that increased range as well. And theoretically, they could have mid-air refueling, though that's 1945 tech. They would have to have that. They would have to start working on it back in 1936 to have it now, because of the huge penalties you'd be encountering. Because even researching it now in 1941, you're still encountering such huge penalties. But anyway, drop tanks, that's a definite possibility. And the mid-air refueling aircraft prototype, level 1 for sure, maybe level 2. Alrighty, that's distressing. The sheer fact they have 75 fighters is also very distressing. Let's watch this air battle. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, I think my guys are simply disengaging because they're seeing this huge cloud of 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 air units. They're like, we want nothing to do with that. There's a naval bomber, is that it? Or a flying boat, rather. That's thrown in there. Yeah, I'm taking some org hits there, but nothing much more than that. Because there's 75, 7 dozen planes all there. The AI is having a huge hit to they got too much stuff there. They're taking a huge penalty. Alrighty. We don't have anything else going on that we need to worry about. We're not actually attacking, or yes, we are. We got land combat now. Oh, that's this thing going on. Ugh. Okay. Can we speed this up at all? Well, no. They're getting experience, and they're doing okay. this is the other one, which they're not doing okay. So let's bring our cav in there and come back. Okay. Alrighty, new day. We got some new stuff coming on. So let's see where we are. We got some cool things here. Alrighty, so we jump from airport level 3 to airport level 6. I don't believe this is cumulative. I believe this is the end result kind of type thing. So I believe our air organizations went up by 0.3%. Not that huge of a deal, but every little bit helps. It'll help my poor little fighters are getting ravaged by 6 dozen other fighters. Road network, increase organization regain rate by 0.1%. It's the main thing I was looking forward to there. We got forward air control that we learned. That's 1941 tech, which we'll leave alone. We went up in leadership. I want to leave that alone. I want to push my access to officer ratio so I can get that up. We don't need anything in there, so push it that much more at officer ratio. Almost at 50 a day now. Tokyo Express. We're using more supplies. Our need went up a tad, but the supply throughput increased greatly. Our resources dropped by 5%. But you know what? Oh, that's from Puppet. I was like, why am I up plus 278? 254 is from Puppets. So that minus 5% to resources isn't showing here just yet. But once it does, that won't be enough to. I'll still be going by plus 20 a day in rares. Going down in metal once the increase from Puppets goes away. And energy, yeah, that's where. So even though we lost the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere, rank 1, we now move up to rank 2, and that's because we gained Siam. Siam or French Indochina, something like that. We gained a puppet or something along those lines that pushed this a bit more. So you can see its improvements. That's why my leadership went up a bit. It ticked up by 5% there. I see efficiency, yay. The resources cancels out the other negative quite handily, so we don't worry about that. Plan for the Pacific. This prompts further events coming. You can read the specifics there, but basically, as I take particular islands of America, of the United States, it'll give us some bonuses. Each one we take gives us a little bit of a bonus for a bit, and it gives the USAI some penalties for a bit. Supplies will be empty in 7 days. I can't. I mean, I could do better than this. Put all my IC into it, but it shouldn't be yo-yoing as much as it is right now. I'm just going to leave it alone as it is. Revoke the Soviet-Japanese Neutrality Pact. We're not going to because we're fine with the way we are right now. We're going to let this kind of tick forward a bit more. We're still bombing. Actually doing a real good job knocking them out there. Still waiting for my Marines to get to where they need to go. Let's kind of zoom in a bit here. Yeah, now I'm not seeing any U.S. fleet incursions around there. There's a couple fleet incursions around here, though. We just missed each other, I guess. Oh, that may just be there's 4 CAS. That's in here because I don't have CAS over there. Am I able to see what's here? 2 planes there. That's all. Fighter bomber and a medium bomber. How about here? Hard to tell. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. I think it's just interceptors there, but they could be my interceptors. Well, no, my interceptors are there. So yeah, it's U.S. interceptors that are there. It's probably there's no air combat there. And if you're wondering why I'm taking such a close, hard look at what's in the area, when my units are in the same zone as the enemy, I can kind of hover and then figure out what is there, even though if I scroll in, it doesn't really say. It's still a question mark. But if you scroll out, it'll at least tell you what is there. So that's kind of good. It's just air units right now that's moving around. That's 75 interceptors, though, or air fighters. Oh, we got something here. What's that? Interceptors. Okay. Here, also planes. That's all. Alrighty. See my Marines starting to make their way. We got to watch where he goes. Guam and Wake are fairly, there's not going to be any drifting of the boats there. But this, I got to watch. Okay. Just as I thought. We need to tell these guys to go here, to invade there. These guys need to be told to invade there. There we go. We're both on the same page now, all on the same page. We need to land here and take it because we need that port. We need to do the same thing for the other one down there. We're going over an hour, so I do apologize, but kind of want to get this first naval invasion off here, and I also want to see where this guy is coming in at as well. And I'll need to remember next episode to watch where that guy is going. Yeah, this should be a battle one handily. Nothing happening. Still bombing. Okay, so now where are you? Okay, you say you're dropping up. Well, you know what? I don't care. That's fine. That's fine. They can drop off there, and I can have my. No, you know what? It needs to be. It needs to be there because I really need that port taken ASAP. Because I need to then move the forces ASAP as well. Philippines needs to be taken fairly quickly because that will be a staging base, if you will, for the next round of marine invasions down here and through the other islands. Once we're ready for all that, this will still be a month to 2 months before I finally can conquer the Philippines. And on that note, good thing I reminded myself here, we're going to puppet them. I'd rather not have to put garrisons all around the Philippines to hold it. And the Philippine army is actually fairly decent. It's on par, I would say, with Zibisama or Minjiang, even perhaps. Yeah, maybe Zibisama. It's definitely better than Yunnan, that's for sure. They're sufficient enough that if I make them their own puppet, um, that's good. They can hold the territory of their own, and so long as I have naval power in the area to help them out, and air for that matter too. Uh, Good note as well. Once I puppet them, that Asian co-prosperity sphere goes up to the next level, which means improved bonuses. So yay on that. We got a new land combat. Oh no, we're still going with those two, and that's this one here. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and save the game. I know that landing craft is kind of getting ready, but we'll worry about that next episode. I'm going to save the game here and thank everybody for watching, getting me to this point here before 50 episodes to where we're actually being able to attack the United States and get that going. Everybody, you kind of seeing how my initial conflict is going to be going with the Philippines. Um, Next episode, we'll be diving a little bit further into what goes on there. We should have Guam and Wake attacked and perhaps even conquered at that point too. But otherwise, hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you next episode. Take care.